Hey guys, it's Beautiful Me again. I just wanted to come back and kind of follow up with a couple of things that some folks have asked me from the coring videos, how to build cores. So one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about was, what do you do when you're getting ready to craft a core and you can't craft it because it's ghosted out? So let me show you what that looks like. I touched on the more button and then I'm going up to crafting. Or you can go in through the forge, whichever one you like to do, and then craft core equipment. And remember when we talked about when you're in here, you've got two tabs, right? So we talked about the cores tab, and then we also talked about the pieces tab. So I'm on the cores tab now, and then while you're on each one of those tabs, you then have a section that you can go into. So it's lit up right now on the weapons section. You can touch on the helm and the all the others, you know, that they've got there, the armor and the accessory and the feet. But then if you come over here to the very end, you click on this little button and then it takes you to the entire set. And as you can see down here, when it comes to my Hades set, everything that you see here is lit up. So that means that I can get to it and I can actually start to craft cores with it. But notice up here on the Poseidon core, I don't have those lit up yet. So that means that I can't get in here and I can't use them. So how in the world are we going to get those to light up? Well, here's how you do that. You have more you have more cores in inventory than you do spaces for them. So we're going to get out of this and I'm going to go back over into crafting. But this time I'm going to come down here into cores and pieces. So rather than go up here to craft the actual core, I'm going to come down here to cores and pieces. And you'll notice again that it's set up very similarly. You've got it up at the top, cores and pieces, and then you've got all those little subcategories that you can go into. Well, I'm going to still go ahead and touch on the set category, and that puts it back into sets for me. And again, this does look very familiar to where we just were, but look what happens now. When I touch on one of those pieces, I then get this screen that comes up. And it says you can't use that one until you free up some inventory slots. What you can do is you could swap it out. So I do want to do that. I want to swap it out for one that I'm not going to use, because when it comes to cores, there's no way that I'm going to use a level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't need to have those in my inventory. So I'm just going to simply swap it out. Really easy, right? You just touch on the swap button and then they're going to say, okay, well, which one do you want to swap it out for? So select an unlocked core that you want to swap it for. Obviously, we're never going to choose a level 1 helm to go into our core. So I don't need that one to be active. So I'm going to swap it with that one. I'm going to swap it for a 1. And that's basically what I'm doing there. Is it's just letting me know I'm swapping a level 1 for a level 6. Do I want to do it? Yes, I do. Now, I already happen to own 94 swaps. If I didn't happen to already have those, what I can do is I can either get them from the store or I can purchase them with gold, whichever way you want to do it. Because I already happen to have 94, I'm going to go ahead and touch on 94. I'm going to go ahead and touch on swap. And now what will happen, we can't see it here. Well, I guess we could. We could go into the category. And now look, see how it's now lit up versus that one's not? So then I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to swap that one out. And it doesn't really matter what you swap it out for, as long as you just don't swap it out for another 6, right? So I know that I'm not ever going to use this ancient medallion core that's a gray, that's a level 1, or a black. I'm never going to do that, so swap that out. Go back up into the category, do this one, swap it out for the white one. I'm never going to use a white one. Okay. Come back in, swap it out. Never going to use a white one. There we go. All right, now I'm good to go. on the core side of it. So now when I come over here to the pieces side of it, and again, we're looking at that Poseidon core, I can now start to see where I've got all of these pieces and not all of them are available right now. So I'm going to need to have this level 6 at some point. So I'm going to go ahead and swap that out. And again, I'm just choosing ones that I know for sure that I'm never going to use. Okay, so here is the next level 6. So for now, some of you, when you're first starting out with your course, what you may happen is that you may find that you don't have level 6 pieces to use. And remember, we talked about that it is okay to use level 5 pieces with some of your cores and some of the recipes. If that's the case, then you just simply would come back in here and you would activate your level 5 piece, just like you did, like we just did for the level 6. All right, so I would continue to go through and swap these out, finding some like there. I'm never going to use that one. And then just making sure that I've got all of those pieces together. So that's how then you get back into when you're ready to actually make the core. Now that I've done that work, I can come right back in here. Oops, make sure that I'm on the right area. Yep, and now you can see that those are lit up. So that's the Poseidon core, and as soon as I get 3 more accessories, it looks like I'll be able to craft my first Poseidon core. All right, so that's how you activate your pieces if they're inactive when you get ready to go crafting. The other question that has come up is, how do I set up my hero tree for cores? And this goes back to being able to have presets available. So when you are researched enough, you'll begin to get some hero presets. Right now, there are 30 presets that are out. So I have 10, I have the next 10, but then I'm not researched enough to have the next 10 yet. That is coming. That research actually is already out. You just have to get to it. So in your research tree, when you come down to the strategic and wild siege, as you scroll down and you get down pretty far in the tree, right here is your next hero preset number 3. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think that will give you the next 10 presets. Double check me on that, but the other 2 gave 10 presets each, so it just makes logical sense that it would do that. Okay, so that's how you get to your presets. That's how you open those up. And why are they important? Well, when you're starting to burn cores, it's very important to have presets, because you need to not only have all of the cores in there, but then you need to be able to set that hero tree skills up. And then you also need to be able to go in and set your stats and set your 5 and 7 piece bonuses on that. So when we're talking about setting up the hero tree, it's very important that each set of cores has its own slot, because you're going to set up the hero tree different for each one. So here happens to be an empty Zeus preset, because I used the Zeus, and the reason I'm showing you this is because I wanted you to see that even though I've used the core, the hero tree skills, they still stay. So that's why it's important to set it up. Now, the next question is, well, how do I know how to set up my hero tree for the particular core? And that goes back to following a recipe. And again, I encourage you to reach out to your leadership team to talk about which kind of recipes that you want to follow. But one of the places that I go to get my recipes also has skill tree examples in it as well. So this happens to be the skill tree for one of the cores that I was just looking up. And as you can see, they've gone in and they've taken a screenshot, an elongated screenshot of the entire tree, how they set their tree up. So that makes it really easy to go in and kind of repeat what they've set it up for. So the way